Dawn broke over Epsilon 9 with an ethereal glow, the twin moons sinking behind jagged peaks while the sun rose pale and silver over the crystalline cliffs. Alex Reed stretched, muscles aching from the previous night's tests but mind buzzing with anticipation. Lyra had promised a real challenge awaited him, and he could feel the weight of it even before leaving the chamber. When he stepped outside, the alien landscape seemed almost alive. The crystalline forests reflected sunlight in every direction, scattering light across the jagged terrain. Strange creatures moved silently in the distance, observing them with curious, unthreatening gazes. Lyra was already waiting, her silver-violet hair shimmering in the early light. She smiled as he approached. "Ready?" she asked, her voice carrying a mixture of amusement and seriousness. Alex nodded. "I don't know what comes next, but I'm ready." "Good," she said. "Follow me and keep your senses sharp. The real test begins now." They descended a steep cliffside, careful with each step as the terrain grew more treacherous. The path twisted between towering crystal spires, and pools of luminescent water reflected the rising sun, creating an almost magical labyrinth. Lyra moved with effortless grace, guiding Alex with subtle gestures and occasional verbal cues. As they progressed, Alex noticed that the environment itself seemed designed to challenge him. Crystal formations shifted subtly underfoot, some forming bridges that could collapse if stepped on wrong. Streams of glowing water flowed unpredictably, and strange wind-like currents threatened to unbalance him. Every step required observation, intuition, and quick decision-making. After a long trek, they reached a vast plateau, open to the sky. In the center was a massive alien construct, hovering slightly above the ground, composed of interlocking geometric shapes that rotated slowly. It emitted low hums resonating with the environment. Alex could feel the vibrations through his feet and wondered what kind of intelligence had created it. Lyra's voice broke the silence. "This is the Crucible. It is not meant to destroy but to reveal. Every action, every choice you make here will test your mind, your courage, and your sense of morality. Do not rush, observe, think, act wisely." Alex studied the construct, noting intricate patterns etched into the surfaces. Each shape rotated independently, yet in a way that seemed to follow a hidden logic. He realized this was a puzzle, but more than a puzzle, it was a trial of human perception and ingenuity. The Crucible shifted suddenly, opening gaps between the rotating shapes and revealing a pathway through the center. Alex hesitated, considering his options. Some paths seemed safe but led to dead ends, while others were precarious yet appeared to be the intended route. He chose carefully, moving step by step, watching the patterns and listening to the faint hums that seemed to guide him. Halfway through, the construct altered its configuration. Shapes rotated faster and gaps shifted unpredictably. Alex felt the first real surge of fear, not for himself but for failing the challenge. Lyra watched silently, her eyes reflecting both curiosity and admiration. He took a deep breath, focusing on the rhythm of the rotations, predicting movements and adapting to the changing environment. A misstep almost sent him tumbling, but he managed to leap to a stable platform. His heart raced, but he kept going, guided by instinct and observation. The Crucible seemed to respond to him, shifting subtly as if acknowledging his thought process. Finally, he reached the core of the construct, a glowing orb suspended in mid-air, surrounded by rotating rings covered in alien inscriptions. Alex studied the orb carefully. This was not a physical challenge anymore. It required intellect and insight. He examined the inscriptions, recognizing patterns similar to those he had solved the previous night. Each sequence seemed to correspond to a principle of morality or choice. He realized that to succeed, he could not simply decode the patterns. He had to make decisions reflecting his values. One sequence indicated a choice between saving a virtual life represented by a hologram or pursuing a shortcut to the next stage. Another challenged him to balance risk against safety, showing that impatience or arrogance could lead to failure. Alex worked methodically, taking time to analyze, weigh options, and act. He noticed that Lyra's expression was one of careful observation, her usual playful grin subdued as she watched him navigate not just the physical, but moral and intellectual challenges. Hours passed. The sun climbed higher, casting the plateau in a bright, almost blinding light. Alex's mind ached, but he pressed on, trusting his instincts and reasoning. Each correct choice made the orb pulse brighter. Each misstep caused subtle vibrations as a warning. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Alex reached the last sequence. It required him to align the rings around the orb in a configuration representing harmony, balance between caution and courage, intellect and empathy. He hesitated, thinking about the consequences of each alignment. Then, with a decisive motion, he adjusted the final ring. The orb blazed with light, and the entire construct hummed in resonance, sending waves of energy across the plateau. The air felt charged with life, almost as if the planet itself acknowledged his success. Lyra stepped forward, her eyes wide with awe. "You did it," she said softly. "You have passed the crucible. No human or alien has ever completed it on the first attempt. You possess the qualities my people value: courage, intelligence, adaptability, and empathy." Alex exhaled, a mixture of relief and exhilaration washing over him. I didn't know what I was doing exactly. I just tried to do what seemed right." "That is exactly why you succeeded," Lyra replied. "Intent and understanding matter more than skill alone. Your kind's ability to think beyond instinct, to act with reason and morality, is rare in the galaxy. You have proven that humanity can excel where others falter." The construct slowly dissolved, the glowing orb dissipating into light that scattered across the plateau. Alex felt a sense of profound accomplishment. He had faced the unknown, navigated physical and moral challenges, and succeeded through intelligence and courage. Lyra smiled, stepping closer. "You see now why I appeared at your door so boldly? I needed to find a human capable of this, someone who could demonstrate the best of your species." Alex looked at her, admiration and respect growing. "You weren't trying to scare me?" he asked, a hint of humor in his voice. "No," she said, laughter dancing in her tone. "I wanted to see if humans could handle the unexpected, and you handled it better than I imagined." They walked back to the cliffside together, the sun warming their backs. Alex noticed the beauty of the landscape anew, the crystalline forests sparkling, the streams of luminescent water flowing in harmony, and the distant creatures observing them without fear. For the first time, he felt a deep connection not just to the planet, but to the alien culture Lyra represented. "You humans have something remarkable," Lyra said suddenly. "You survive, adapt, and think in ways most species cannot. You are a reminder that courage and creativity are as powerful as strength and technology." Alex nodded. "I guess we've always had to survive in a universe full of dangers. It forces us to be clever, adaptable, and to never give up." Lyra studied him for a long moment, then smiled warmly. "And that is why I chose to find you. I wanted to witness it firsthand. Your actions have proven that humans can face the extraordinary and come through stronger, wiser, and better." They reached the outpost just as the sun fully rose, bathing the crystalline cliffs in warm light. Alex paused at his doorway, reflecting on the trials, the challenges, and the lessons he had learned. Lyra stepped beside him, looking out over the landscape with the same quiet reverence. "Will you come with me again?" Alex asked cautiously, curiosity sparking. "Perhaps," Lyra replied. "There are more worlds, more challenges, and more wonders to see. But that is not for today. Today you rest. Tomorrow you will be ready for whatever comes next." Alex felt a rare sense of peace. He had faced the unexpected, navigated danger, and succeeded in ways he hadn't imagined. He realized that humanity's true strength lay not in weapons or technology, but in courage, intelligence, adaptability, and moral insight. These qualities had allowed him to excel where even advanced alien civilizations might falter. Lyra turned to him, her expression playful once more. "Remember, human, this is only the beginning. The galaxy is wide, strange, and full of surprises. But I have faith in your kind. You will continue to rise, to face the impossible, and to shine in ways no one expects." Alex smiled, feeling both pride and humility. "I won't let you or anyone down." As Lyra stepped back, her form shimmering in the morning light, she nodded once and disappeared through a faintly glowing portal. Alex watched until the light vanished, leaving only the crystalline cliffs and the hum of the planet around him. He felt a profound sense of connection, not just to this alien being, but to the potential of humanity itself. He turned back toward the outpost, ready to continue his work, knowing that the universe was far larger and more mysterious than he had ever imagined. Humanity had survived, adapted, and thrived in the most extraordinary ways, And Alex knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, he and his species were ready. The galaxy was vast, unpredictable and sometimes dangerous, but humans, clever, brave, and adaptable, would continue to rise, leaving their mark wherever they went. And somewhere out there Lyra would be watching, smiling, knowing that The small spaceship shuddered as it entered the alien station orbiting the distant planet. Captain Aaron Kane had faced dangerous missions before, but this station felt different. It was quiet, almost too quiet. The lights flickered overhead, casting long shadows along the metallic corridors. Aaron's boots echoed as he moved, his hand never far from the energy pistol strapped to his side. He had been sent to investigate the sudden disappearance of a research team. Communications had gone silent 2 days ago, and the Galactic Federation needed answers. Every instinct in his body told him something was off. As he stepped into the main control room, the doors hissed closed behind him. The screens lining the walls were dark except for a faint pulse of light on one terminal. Aaron approached cautiously, scanning the room for movement. Suddenly, a figure appeared at the far end of the room. She was unlike any human Aaron had ever seen. Her skin had a subtle silver sheen. Her eyes reflected the dim lights like twin stars, and her movements were graceful, almost feline. She did not speak at first, only observing him with a quiet intensity. Aaron raised his pistol slightly, though he did not point it directly at her. "I'm not here to fight," she said, her voice melodic but firm. "You are not safe here." Aaron relaxed slightly but kept his guard up. "Who are you?" he asked. "Where is everyone?" "My name is Lyra," she said, taking a step closer. "The station is compromised. You must follow me quickly. Time is running out." Without waiting for an answer, she moved across the room with astonishing speed and precision. Aaron followed, his eyes scanning every corner. The station's corridors twisted and turned, filled with strange machinery that hummed softly. It felt alive in some ways, as if it had a mind of its own. As they reached a central chamber, Lyra stopped and turned to him. "This room contains the core of the station's AI. It has been corrupted by an external signal. If it activates fully, it will destroy everything on this level and possibly the planet below." Aaron's heart pounded. "How do we stop it?" Lyra's eyes glimmered. "I can interface with it, but I will need your help to stabilize the connection. You must trust me completely." He nodded, though trust was not something he gave easily. The AI system was a complex web of codes and circuits unlike anything Aaron had ever seen. Lyra moved closer to the console, placing her hands on the holographic panels. Energy flowed from her fingertips into the system, causing the lights to flicker and hum even louder. Aaron helped by monitoring the readings and entering commands that Lyra instructed. Together they formed a rhythm, human and alien working as one. Minutes passed like hours as they battled the rogue AI, countering every surge and anomaly. Sweat ran down Aaron's face, but he kept moving, trusting Lyra's guidance completely. Suddenly, a warning alarm blared through the station. The AI had triggered its defense protocols. Mechanical drones emerged from hidden compartments, moving with deadly precision. Lyra looked at Aaron. "Stay close. We fight together." The drones advanced, but Aaron and Lyra moved with uncanny coordination. Lyra's agility and speed were unlike anything he had encountered, and Aaron's tactical experience allowed them to anticipate each attack. They dodged, blocked, and countered, slowly making their way toward the central console. Finally, they reached it. Lyra connected herself fully, her eyes glowing as she merged consciousness with the station's AI. Aaron could feel the energy shift around them, the room vibrating with raw power. "You must keep the system stable," Lyra called out. "I cannot do this alone." Aaron pressed his hands against the panels, entering command after command. Sparks flew and the room shook violently. It was a battle of wills, human determination versus corrupted machine logic. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the chaos stopped. The lights returned to normal. The drones powered down and the room fell silent. Lyra withdrew from the console, breathing heavily but smiling faintly. "It is done," she said. Aaron exhaled, feeling the tension drain from his body. "You saved the station," he said. "And probably my life." Lyra's expression softened. "We saved it together. You were brave, human. You trusted me when most would not." Aaron nodded, still catching his breath. He studied her for a moment. There was something in her eyes, a quiet strength, a confidence, and a sense of curiosity. She was not just an alien. She was extraordinary. As they walked toward the exit, Aaron realized that this mission was far from over. The AI's corruption had not come from nowhere. Someone or something had sent it. And now, he and Lyra were partners in uncovering the truth, their fates intertwined by circumstance and choice. Outside the station, the stars stretched endlessly across the void. Aaron looked at Lyra. "Where do we start?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "We start with the signal and then we see who dares threaten the galaxy next." The journey ahead was uncertain, dangerous, and thrilling. But for the first time in a long while, Aaron felt a spark of excitement. He was human, yes, but humans had a way of surviving, of adapting, and of exceeding every expectation. And beside him was Lyra, an alien unlike any he had known. A reminder that even in the vast universe, allies could appear in the most unexpected forms. And so, together, they stepped into the unknown, ready to face whatever the galaxy could throw at them.